Essam al-Busayfi's back was peppered with shrapnel when a rocket fired by forces loyal to warlord Khalifa Haftar exploded by his home.
I was standing on the street. Thank God, my neighbor called me over to him. I moved forward 5 steps and the rocket landed just a few meters away.
Essam's pregnant wife suffered minor injuries and his son serious head wounds in the attack. We go to his neighborhood and find evidence of what people who live here say happens day and night. Hours earlier, another barrage of rockets had hit. Residents say that at least 7 rockets hit this neighborhood this morning. They're saying that nobody was injured in those attacks. But behind this house is Mitiga airport, which has been consistently targeted by Haftar's forces over recent months. Now, people here in Tripoli are increasingly angry. They're blaming the UN for not doing enough to halt Haftar's offensive on the capital. Almost a week of UN-sponsored talks in Geneva, during which neither of Libya's warring sides met face-to-face, failed to reach agreement on a ceasefire. The UN-backed government, which is receiving military support from Turkey, says General Haftar must withdraw his forces from areas they control on the outskirts of Tripoli. Haftar, who is being supported by countries including the UAE, Egypt and Russia, says Turkish military personnel and pro-Turkey Syrian fighters supporting the UN-backed government must leave Libya first. Meanwhile, anger and distrust towards the UN is growing. Protesters at this demonstration hold pictures of UN Special Representative to Libya, Ghassan Salame. How much did they pay you to be silent? And supporter of terrorism, they read. Both sides accuse Salame of being biased against them.
They hit us with Egyptian and Emirati airstrikes. Ghassan Salame sees what's happening and the violations. I live near the airport. There are rockets landing on civilian areas all the time. The situation is terrible.
With so many countries involved in this conflict, the UN seems powerless to stop the fighting that has escalated since the Geneva ceasefire talks failed. Both sides have boycotted UN-sponsored talks aimed at finding a political solution. Back at the hospital, Essam has pictures of his injured 4-year-old son on his mobile phone. He says doctors are afraid to remove the shrapnel lodged inside Abdul Rahman's skull, because if they do, he may never walk again. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Tripoli.